Hey everyone, thank you for joining me. So today I wanted to do a full review on the Brian Brown Knives Yeager-M. Now, just wanted to give a quick shout out to Daniel for sending this in, not only for a full review and to check the knife out, but also to customize the show side scale with some fat carbon. Now I'll get more into that in the customization video that I'll be doing here very soon. So really quick, let's just take this out of the package so you guys can see what knife I'm talking about here. And originally this knife comes with a sticker in the packaging and some other goodies. So the packaging is really nice. Comes in this little pouch with the velvet walls. So just really soft. Or I'm not sure if it's velvet, but it's a soft material. So packaged very well. And here is the Yeager-M from Brian Brown Knives. Now this is a production knife from Yeager, so you know the quality is just really good. Handling this knife for a few weeks now. My apologies, Daniel, for the delay on the custom work, but I am catching up on orders, and I just wanted to do a full review because this knife is on a whole nother level. I can only imagine what a full custom from Brian Brown Knives would even feel like in the hands, since this knife is, again, just on a whole nother level. Now, before I get into the likes and dislikes of this knife, and the dislike on this knife isn't even really an issue, but more on that later, I wanted to get into what this blade consists of and the specs. So let's just throw the specs up on the screen and we'll just dive right into it. So we have a reverse Tanto style blade, and I believe it's made of M390, so a really nice steel. And then this also has a beautiful hollow grind, so you have a razor thin edge, and this knife actually has bit me a few times. You have a belt sand finish. You actually have a vertical and horizontal finish, as you guys can see up here by the top of the blade. And just a good contrast with those two different style of finishes. Just a really beautiful look. You have a nice little swedge up here at the top. I think it just looks really good with that swedge up top. And the blade is riding on ceramic bearings, so really smooth action. And then for deployment you have a hole or a slot that I think goes really well with the design of the knife. It is a frame lock style blade with a steel insert. Since it is a titanium frame lock knife, you have titanium pivot collars, a titanium pocket clip, titanium hardware, a really nice titanium backspacer, and then a show side titanium scale that's beautifully milled with a diamond texture, which is really nice, and it gives really good grip in your hand. Now I'm going to get into the things that I like about this knife. Actually really like about this knife. Like I said before, this knife is on a whole nother level. I really don't have any other knife to compare it to. Actually, I do have the Berg's Blade Iron Pup. Shout out to Ross for sending this in. My apologies on the weight on this as well, but I will be customizing this here very soon. But a very well designed and put together knife. So I can compare it to this, and then also the Pena knives that I just customized. So those are some of the highest quality knives I've experienced so far, and that's where the Yeager-M comes in, and it kind of just blows those out of the water in a sense of just the craftsmanship behind it. Again, a production knife to be this high of quality is insane to me, since I rarely handle knives of this caliber. And I'm probably going to sound like I'm just gushing over this knife, but in all honesty, I got a really good look at this knife, and again, Daniel let me he actually let me carry this knife. Now, I only carried this knife once, one day out of the few weeks that it's been here, and the whole time it was in my pocket, I couldn't get it out of my mind. I really, really didn't want to scratch it or lose it, since these are hard to come by, and again, just made me really nervous to have it in my pocket. So what I did was I just carried it around the house. That way I was just a little more at ease having this in my pocket. But we'll just get into the action of this blade. It's crazy good, and the deployment is just again insanely good. There's a certain ring to it when you flick it out too. I don't even know if the camera will pick it up, but let's see if we can. It just has a beautiful ring to it. So I'll do it again. Again, I don't know if it's picking it up on the camera, but it just has a nice ring to it. It just sounds beautiful. Now the Spidey flick is very easy to do. I mean, it flies out every time. And the thumb deployment is a little different. You have to be pretty aware of what you're doing on this, because if you put too much pressure on the pocket clip, it puts pressure on the lock bar, or on the frame lock. And then also if you are trying to use your thumb to open it, if your finger is on the frame lock as well, it won't deploy as easy, but it does. It is doable. I haven't perfected it. So see, it worked there, but I haven't perfected that way of deployment. But the Spidey flick works just amazing, and I prefer to deploy it that way anyway. Now the ergos on this blade are just really, really good. Just in the standard choil here, fingers fit comfortably, no hot spot from the pocket clip, and again, just fits really, really good in hand. And then with this little forward finger choil, or the sharpening choil, whichever way you want to call it, I believe it serves as both, to be honest, but you can actually choke up on it, and it's just really, really comfortable. The finger sits nicely in there without getting on the edge. It's close to the sharpened edge, but it's not going to cut you once you get your finger in there. You can get some really, really good grips and get some good downforce pressure if that's what you're needing from this blade. So again, the ergos are just really, really good. Excellent in my opinion. Now the design of this knife I think it's gorgeous. Now I've seen this knife plenty of times on Instagram. I remember the first time I saw it, I thought it was just beautifully designed, and then I did more research on it and found out who created it, and yeah, it's just visually pleasing to me, at least. It just has really, really nice lines, and it just flows really, really well. So the quality behind this knife is really, really excellent. I mean, I took a really close look at all the pieces and the parts, and there's chamfering even on the inside of the scales. See if the camera can pick it up. But there's really no sharp points. So chamfering here on the inside of the knife, as well as the outside. And then for the slot or the hole for deployment, has beautiful chamfering all the way around, so it feels good on the hands and the fingers. Even the top of the spine of the blade has chamfering. Just all around a really, really excellent production knife. I also like that there's really no logos. It's a very clean and simple looking, again, design. You do have the Brian Brown's Knives logo. So again, just very subtle, nothing too crazy or anything to really distract from the knife itself. And the fact that it's basically all titanium. This is a very, very light knife. The size of the knife to how light it just seems so, it almost doesn't seem real as a knife. I don't even know if that makes any sense, but again, it just kind of blew my mind away of how light this thing is. So it's just excellent in the pocket. Barely tell that it's there. And again, just, I can't even really say anything bad about this knife, because it's so, to all the knives that I've handled, it compares, really doesn't compare to any of them in the sense of quality and how well built this knife is. And like I said earlier, I can only imagine a full custom from Brian Brown's knives, since this is just really, really excellent. And it also lets me know that WE produces just beautiful knives. And there's really only one WE knife that I'm looking forward to, and that's the WE Thug. Just hasn't come out yet, but I am keeping a close eye on that specific knife from WE. And since this thing is a hollow grind and really sharp, and it has bit me a few times, we might as well do a paper cut test, because I want to show you guys just how insanely sharp this thing is. And I mean, it's effortless. I'm telling you right now, this thing is crazy sharp. As you guys can see, I did a little wave cut. But yeah, this is a crazy, crazy sharp knife, thanks to that beautiful hollow grind. The frame lock side has a beautiful stone wash to it. It's a very light stone wash, but it looks really good. Same with the pocket clip. And then access to the frame lock is actually really simple. It's actually really nice. Now typically I prefer a nice little cutout that goes to the frame lock, but this isn't even really necessary since they chamfered it very, very well, and you get plenty of access there. So it's not even really an issue. You can get to it really, really easily and get that drop shut action very simply. And again, it's so smooth, you have to be really careful when you drop shut this blade, since it has bit me a few times. But again, just crazy smooth, and the action is just, I mean, just a little bit of wiggle gets that thing closed. And it just really bites down. So you guys can see it really bites down when you get it close to its closing position. And yeah, it just beautifully locks in. So again, I'm just extremely grateful for you guys supporting this channel and helping it grow, because I'm able to experience and hold and just kind of get a feel for these more premium knives, which I never thought I'd be able to get my hands on unless I was to go to Blade Show, which hopefully will happen here pretty soon. Not this year, but maybe next year. And just get my hands on some really, really high quality knives. It's really awesome. I've been enjoying this ride, and you guys have been making it possible, so thank you. Now, there is one dislike I have about this knife. And like I said before, it's not even really an issue. It's just more of a preference, or a personal preference. And that is the pocket clip. Now, it's not that I hate the pocket clip. It's not that it's done wrong or it's not beautiful, because the pocket clip itself is milled beautifully. The tension is excellent. Fits in the pocket well. The only thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't really flow with the look of the knife. Now again, not bashing the pocket clip. Very well made. It's just, if it were to be more with the flow of the blade. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, but again, Brian Brown Knives, if you're even watching this video, but I'm not bashing on your pocket clip, nothing wrong with it. It's just, I've seen some of his other custom clips on his other knives that would make more sense on this, on the Yeager-M. But like I said, it's not even really an issue. It's more of a personal preference. But I mean, this knife really is perfection in my eyes already. But again, that's the only issue I have, if that is even an issue. So, you know, if you guys have a Yeager-M, I'm not bashing on it, so go easy on me. But all around though, I think this knife is just something else. The deployment is, I could do that all day since it has that ring. It's a beautiful knife. Let me know what you guys think down below of this blade, or if you guys have one, or if you guys would like to have one. I know I'd like to have one in my collection, but these are hard to come by. But again, with my channel and the way things are going with it, it's just a great opportunity to handle something like this. So there is my full review on the Yeager-M. Just wanted to give you guys my thoughts on it. And now that I've handled it, I would definitely love one in my collection. But that is pretty much all I have to say about this knife. I mean, there's more I could say, but I'm not gonna bore you guys to death. Just wanted to give you guys my 2 cents on this really, really gorgeous knife from Brian Brown Knives and Wheat. So appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for the support. I really, really appreciate it. And the video of me customizing this knife will be out here shortly. So keep your eyes peeled for that video. And as always, I will see you guys on the next one.